I'd argue that the Chromie Squiggle is one of the most recognisable NFTs of all time. Created as the genesis piece on art blocks, it holds a significant part of NFT history and generative art history. Now, to some people, it might just look like they're squiggles that are colourful on a screen. But to us in the know, we know that there's much more to these than meets the eye. On the official Chromie Squiggles website, it lists normal, bold, fuzzy, slinky, ribbed, and pipe as the possible types of Chromie Squiggle. But to those in the know, there's a lot more traits than meets the eye. Double spectrum, triple spectrum, rainbow spectrum, full fuzzy, double fuzzy, triple fuzzy, rainbow slinky, rainbow ribbed, rainbow bold, rainbow pipe, rainbow shorty, monochrome, normal monochrome, perfect normal monochrome, XL, tall, 2%ers, 3%ers, 5%ers, single digits, double digits, day zeros, harmonics, twins, triplets, hypernormals, hyperslinkies, hyperfuzzies, hyperribbed, hyperbolds, hyperpipes. The Squiggles creator Snowthrow has said many times that he doesn't want people to compare squiggles. He wants people to enjoy the squiggles for the squiggles themselves, not for the traits, not for the rarity. And I do agree with that sentiment, but there is one question that haunts me at night as I try to sleep. What is the best squiggle? I'm lying, I already know, it's a fuzzy squiggle. The fuzzy squiggles are the best squiggles. That's it, let's get conversation over. But this had me thinking, if we did want to find out what truly the best squiggle is, how could we find that out? At first I thought of a round robin technique. Each squiggle is compared to every other squiggle. But considering there's 9,932 squiggles currently, that would take an incredible amount of time. Then I thought perhaps we could make a tournament bracket. We could pair up every single squiggle, compare them, and then if you lose, you get eliminated. But that would still take an incredible amount of time just for one person to complete. And then I thought, well, what about if we all did it together? What about if we created a system where we could compare squiggles and keep track of who wins each match? And slowly, if we had enough people voting and participating, we'd be able to work out which truly was the most loved squiggles. So with the vision in mind, I created a super simple UI using some flex boxes that had the 2 squiggle titles, 2 squiggle images, and 2 buttons allowing you to choose which one was your favourite. I needed a way to actually collate this information, so I decided to use Google Firebase system, created a Firestore, and just allowed it so anyone in the world could update the database. Now this does mean that some people out there could probably bot their way to make it so that their favourite squiggle goes to the top, but considering each round is a new squiggle is randomly generated, I feel like the amount of effort someone would have to go through for this just wouldn't be worth it. If you can do that, you're probably better off doing more interesting things. So the application flow goes like this. We generate a round. In that round, we create 2 random numbers between 0 and 9,931, inclusive. We update the UI to show those numbers, and then we fetch those images from the Artblocks platform. When you click the left button, the value for wins for that squiggle will go up by 1, and the values for losses for the other squiggle will also increase by 1. If you press the right button, the values for wins for the right squiggle will go up by 1, and the values for losses for the left squiggle will go up by 1. So it's a direct comparison. We then generate a new round, and the whole process starts again. I also wanted to show the total number of votes cast so far, so I created a little Firestore to keep track of this as well. Now this gets updated every single vote, but the display is actually only shown locally to the user. This is to reduce the number of calls to the system, which in the long run is going to make it more efficient. Some of the images were taking a while to load, so I made sure to add a small little opacity transition so that when you press the button, as the new image is getting loaded, the old one fades out and the new one fades in. This is just to show the user that something is actually happening if they have a bad internet connection. Now that the platform is built, it's time to get some hosting so you can cast your votes. I set up some hosting with Vercel and grabbed a quick domain off Google Domains, and the site is ready for everyone to go on. The URL is on screen and in the description below. Go through a few rounds and add to the pool of squiggle knowledge. I'll leave it open for a while, and then I'll come back and review the results in another video soon. Also, any comments about fuzzy squiggles not being the best squiggles will be taken seriously and will be dealt with accordingly.